I.S.U.P.K. 53rd Annual Lord Passover.
53rd Annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida.
It's going down.
You're here tonight to get a chance to be righteous enough to be worthy of God. Come on, to save you and your
That's right.
It's going down. The Lord's 53rd Annual Passover.
When we say we no cowards, we talk that business. We no cowards up in here.
Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, the IHG Hotel, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
It's a lot of men down. You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I sided with the Lord of wars. On one accord. We ain't never stopping.
Comes with all your dishes, pots, pans, forks, knives.
I kind of like this. This is like an apartment and a hotel. You know what I mean?
This here right here is about to be holy ground. This is going to be holy ground. All our beautiful, wonderful brothers and sisters from all over the world. You understand? We can boast that now. Brothers and sisters coming not only from every state, but from all over the world. I heard the numbers this year is ridiculous. We had to buy out the whole hotel.
Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
My camp undefeated. You cannot debate. You just want the clout. We just want the grace. I'm just trying to get it.
This is going to be glorious.
We don't give a fuck. You can see it in our faces. Got it out the mud. Straight up out the base.
Shalom, Akim. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. And is run today by Commanding General YAHANNA, the man with the rank and the authority to be the leader of the nation of the Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans who are the Israelites of the Bible. I want to say Yahweh Basham Yahweh Brakatam to the brothers, Yahweh Shamar Isla, Tam Basham Yahweh to the sisters. Welcome to our Wednesday evening law class. All right, we're talking today about things that we swear about, things that go out of our mouth, which the Most High holds us accountable to. You can hear me, Ak?
Gone, loud and clear, sir.
All right.
Slow.
All right. Now, many times we say things idly. But, you know, there are things where sometimes you say it's a good thing. The Most High just most likely turn a blind eye to some of the things that we swear. You remember when you were children and you would say, you're going to do something and you say, oh, thunder roll and broke me neck if me don't do so and so.
Good.
Well, luckily the Most High never broke anybody's neck. But then again, he say, don't swear by the heavens because it is the Most High's throne, nor by the earth because it's the Most High's footstool. So things like those we should not do.
Good.
Don't say things that we don't think we can measure up to. And you know, one of the worst things, sometimes you say something, you know, and that swear goes to the next generation, to the next generation. That is how important these, we Israelites, that's how important our word is to the Most High. Our word is not just for idle talk. The Most High does all our words, all us to our words. We as Israelites. Now, all right, before I go any further, the sign-in link. The sign-in link, let me get get the link out to some of our other persons. Group. Share. All right, share to our group. In the meantime, find 2 Samuel 21.
Gun.
Oh, it's a lot of shit. All right, like I was saying now, our word is our bond. And we have to start, you know, live our life. We in the truth, I mean, the man in the world don't have a clue. But, you know, we in the world we in the truth have to be careful. We have to learn. We have to know that we have to be careful what we say. Because the Most High know He's going to start holding us accountable. So in other words, take for instance, you make promises. Take for instance, you make promises which it turns out that you can't hold. Or you know that you've okay, one particular way we often do these things. We find ourselves in a tight spot, in a tight situation. I will say, Lord, if you get us out of this situation, we're going to do X, Y, Z. And as soon as we come out of that tight spot that we find ourselves in, you know, it's like a different situation now.
Good.
We're not in that tight spot anymore, so it's like we say, sure, God name take a serious spot. But that's not true. That is one of the reasons why we are going through so much difficult situation in today's date, which we are not really able to explain. Wow, wow, wow. Or in other words, we don't know why these things is happening to us. Why am I suffering so much? Anyway, me wondering the same thing too. All right. Do 2 Samuel's
21.
2 Samuel 21.
Another one gone.
Reading verse 1 and read verse 1.
Another one gone. This is the book of 2 Samuel chapter 21 and verse 1. Then there was a famine in the days of David 3 years, year after year. And David...
This is 3 consecutive years of famine in the land of, in our promised land. 3 consecutive years of famine. Continue.
Another one gone. And David inquired of the Lord, and the Lord answered, "It is for Saul and for his bloody house, because he slew the Gibeonites."
Now, if we remember this story, this set of people were persons. It was one of the Amite tribes, which was in the land before we got into the land. And they had deceived us and got us to make a promise unto them. Now, this thing here is a twofold thing, because in we making this promise to them, that make us be disobedient to God. But at the same time, the Most High have a law that says things that gone forth out of your mouth, you must keep. So in other words, because we made this promise, even though the Most High not happy with it, but we made the promise, you have to keep it.
God.
So in the time of Saul now, Saul went and, I wonder if we can find that one with Saul. When Saul, in a moment, I should be able to find this. Saul went and you know, Saul did it out of a zeal for, he did it out of zeal for Israel, you know, for his people.
So like, yeah.
Yeah.
1 Samuel's 22 and 6.
All right. 1 Samuel 22 and 6. All right. Before you go to that, read verse 2.
Another one gone. Verse 2. And the king called the Gibeonites and said unto them, "Now the Gibeonites were not of the children of Israel, but of the remnant of the Amorites."
All right, before you forget, 1 Samuel, what you say?
So like, let me double check, sir. This is where Saul kills some of the priests, sir.
No, man.
Okay.
That was Israelite priests he killed.
Okay, gone.
He killed the priest that he killed was the Israelite priest, but he did. There was a time when he made war against the Gibeonites, kill out a lot of them, and you know, push them out of the land. All right, read verse 2.
Salakia. Verse 2. And the king called the Gibeonites and said unto them, "Now the Gibeonites were not of the children of Israel, but of the remnant of the Amorites. And the children of Israel had sworn unto them, and Saul And Saul sought to slay them in his zeal to the children of Israel and Judah.
Right. So it is just a zeal that Saul had,
God.
In other words, he was jealous of his people, to see his people grow and prosper. So these people now were one of those who were in the land, but they were the only ones that were among us. If you remember, all of the inhabitants of the land were still in the land. Because rather than get them out of the land, we sought to make them what we call tributaries. And to us, we just found ways to tax them, believing that, like you say, why kill them when you can tax them?
God.
But that was so wrong. So in David's time now, because Saul did that in his time, you see, the punishment didn't come while Saul was alive and Saul was king, The punishment fell on David. So David now went and inquired of the Lord, why we have this drought so long? The Most High say, because of Saul and his bloody house and what he did with the Gideonites. And the Most High. So now the king, David now have to go to the Gibeonites and said unto them. He asked them what can he do to appease them. But here now in verse 2 it said the Gibeonites were not the children of Israel. So here now it is telling you, these people were not Israelites, but they were of the remnants of the Amorites. And the children of Israel had sworn unto them, and Saul sought to slay them in his zeal to the children of Israel and Judah. So it wasn't what he was doing was out of the love of his people. He had a passion for his people, and out of that passion, he still break the law. You see how interesting it is? You have to know and understand the law, whether you're king or you're a peasant. Because it was the same thing with when he was supposed to kill out the they call them other people, our sworn enemies. They call them man Esau's descendant. That Saul, when he was supposed to kill them out, he choose the best out of their land.
And the Amalekites.
The Amalekites. When he was supposed to kill the Amalekites, what he saw was ways in which that he could enrich his people. He saw something that his people could benefit from. Then again, out of the love of his people, he went now and disobeyed God. Because what he took the best of the sheep. Imagine a country invade Jamaica. I'm sure they can find a lot of good cows and goats. Right? And the best of our women and our young men, and put them in slavery and take out the best of our goats and sheep and our crops. Well, that was what Saul did. Saul went into the Amalekites when the Most High told him, say, kill everything, down to the dog and the puss and the baby and the suckling. Don't save nothing. But him look at him, make him let the men them around him deceive him. So I mean, why destroy these things? And them lovely sheep, man, and them lovely cows and things. Why not take them and enrich ourselves? And them say, and then him now in his stupidity said, all right, let us just make sacrifices unto the Most High. But the Most High said, you stay there. Obedience better than sacrifice. Then he went now and he made war against the Gibeonites. And he slaughtered many of the Gibeonites. But this punishment now fall in David's lap. There was a 3-year famine. And the Most High told David that this was because of what Saul did to the Gibeonites. So the Most High was punishing us for these events. Yeah.
Why you have to kill everything?
That's what the Most High said. This is how God works. You see, all them people who causing you hurt now, when the time comes for the Most High to punish them, as it says in the Bible, especially Babylon, which country now is the daughter of Babylon? America.
God.
Don't every one of us would like to go to America?
God.
All right, those of us who, there are some who might not wouldn't want to migrate, but everybody would like the US dollar because it's stronger than the money that you have spending. But they are the ones that are oppressing you. Many of our people don't see this. Worse, if you are a Christian, you don't see it. If you are a Christian, you know what the Christian is saying about what is happening to us in Jamaica with the crime now? So we're too wicked against one another.
God.
That's the Christian way of thinking. The Christians now won't see that they won't see that the same oppressor came in and taught our men how to kill each other. They will not see that the same oppressor came in and took the best of our lands, lock us off from tourism, right? Lock up the, what I say now, what's the word to use now? What they do with the dancehall or dancehall and dancehall music? Eh? The destabilize the country in the 70s to early 80s. But what they do with the dancehall now,
Nice abatement.
Well, the Nice Abatement Act. Now, this is a very interesting one too. This Nice Abatement Act. What was people complaining about that brought about the Nice Abatement Act? They were complaining that the noise from these, some of them even go as far as what we call it, sound system. But some of these people hate these sound systems so much, they call it ghetto blasters. Right? Now they hate these noise so much that the government out here came in with Noise Abatement Act. All right. It stifled the dancehall. What used to happen in the dancehall? People hustle. The dancehall was a place for the peanut man make money. Who else? The cane man.
God.
What else?
Soup man.
The soup man. Yeah, because when dancehall and people go home, they want a nice warm cup of soup.
God.
Right? Yeah, the jerk chicken man. So it plus the person who keep the dance. Right? No one again you have one shooting. That was no one again. People went out and enjoy themselves. People go out and hustle and make some money. They lock down the dance hall.
God.
Now there's no little hustling for the people. So the people turn to crime. So rather than you be annoyed now by the sound of these sound systems, you are now being annoyed by crime.
God.
So
God.
Our people, you see what is happening now with the Prime Minister talk about people must, hold the government accountable for crime. You know what he wants to do? He wants us to now start make noise and make trouble to the government. So the government can now bring in some real iron fist technique. So that's when you see people them start get, Probably what might come in is the same prison system like what that runs America and the UK, where the prison now become an industry, right? Maybe that's what they want to bring in. Crime in Jamaica is always controlled. It's always under control. They can't tell me nothing. You know, when crime, you can't say crime get out of hand when they see them start pointing the gun uptown.
Good.
And that is still not happening.
Right.
Tourists still coming in the country and can walk free. Crime is under control. It's not controlled against you and I. That's for sure. Who are the victims? Black people. It's only black people live in Jamaica. 70 people killed since the year start. How much of them? They got 100 now. How much of that people is not black people? Isn't that statistics 100% black people?
Good.
All right. So how comes is only black people dying out of crime? There is an agenda behind it. It's just a matter of time before we find out what that agenda is. There is an agenda behind it, right? But that just a little sidebar to show you how people govern, right? In Saul time now, Saul wanted to do what he wants to do rather than listening to God. In other words, I have the reign now. Kill the Gibeonites, but we had a covenant with the Gibeonites. It was against what God wanted, but we had to keep it. All right, let's take a refresher course on that covenant. Go to Joshua 9.
Canada one gun.
Prime Minister and other ministers, they walk as free as they still walk as free as they want to walk.
Good.
Tourists walk as free as they want to walk. Right? You live in certain upper class community, you still walk as free as you want to walk. Crime is just within certain circles. They are making it seem as if the thing is, it look bad on the whole country. That's the only thing. So what about you're going to, we need measures in curbing crime. So in order to curb crime now, you are going to bring in some technique that is going to affect every single body. Some are talk about from a man of a gun. No, this is how much of a slave even our ministers are.
Right.
From a man of a gun, you're not even should have bring him in. You should kill him. They ever go in America and go in a gun shop. It's very easy to own a gun.
Right.
What is the West doing about that? Right. But must go kill your people for having the gun. The gun is safer in the black man than in the white man. It's just that the statistics are not being published. When the white man, when he shoot up in family, we don't have people out here killing their family. What is happening out here is a socio-economic problem. Crime is out here is caused from economic problems.
Right.
Crime in America is not economic problem caused. The white man just damn cuckoo in the head. Right? Because he's the one with the reign, he's the one of everything towards his comfort, and he's the one killing his family.
Right.
Who need to be more controlled?
The white.
Out here, people kill people because they're hungry.
Right.
And you can do something about it. You will lock off the schools and everything. You make the schools rich out of hoarding the school children with that same little lunch money. Rather than you let that money come back into the community.
Right.
And energy people. These were the ways in which you could control crime. You will lock this off. So it's like a trial. It's like the government is a trial and everything. Eh? You all should just turn the country over to commanding General YAHANNA. He would do a far better job. Far better job than you all, because they want to see nothing more than the death of us.
Right.
Whichever way, they want to see the death of us. And by seeing the death of us, what, they think they're going to happy? They believe they are going to be able to kill all of us and enjoy this land. You know what happen? You kill some. The rest is going to wake up and turn around back on you and say, all right, since as we can have peace, you're not going to have none. So they better be careful. I'm warning you. Careful what you do, what the crime measures that you're coming up with. It's going to backfire. I can tell you, it's not best and it's not good for us. I don't know what it is, but you have never come with a good plan for us. Right? It is going to backfire. Mark my word.
Gone.
And that is when the bucket will get kicked over. You know, when the cow give the milk and the bucket full and it just poof, kick it over, that is what is going to happen. And probably it's full time. How can you lack all the survival ways? It's not illegal. When people used to go at the school gate and juggle, that I would vendors are selling the school picket them ganja. Few instances you hear about. And in any case, when school over, you are not monitoring the child from the school to his home. So that child can still go get him ganja. He can get it before he come to school. You only monitor the child during that time period, right? You used to send them out for lunch. You can still do it.
So like yes, sir. Children sell in the school.
The same way, the same danger that you think the children are going to have during that 1 hour, just going out for lunch and come back. It's a way more danger when you let them off at 3 o'clock and they have to go home.
Right.
But greed is the problem. It's the same thing with the tourism. Greed is the problem. Same thing with the agriculture industry. Greed is the problem. Same thing with the entertainment industry. Greed is the problem. And this greed is going to choke this system. It's going to choke the government. And maybe it's under Andrew. Because imagine, COVID caused the place to lock down last year. And yet still, crime way exceeds the death caused by COVID. And there is no lockdown for crime. So obviously you want crime. So in the same way that in the scriptures, David, because David, the Moses said, David, you love the sword, so the sword shall not depart from your hand. Right? Saul inculcate a bloody house in a theme lineage. The Moses wash him with blood. Well, it's the same way with our system here now. Greed is what is the problem. Greed is going to choke you. Right, you were saying?
Oh, Slakia, sir. But I say, the students, them never did have to go outside of the school for buy weed and them thing. The weed was selling inside the school. Students were selling it.
Same student was selling it.
Gone.
Same student inside the school selling it. And students still can be in the school selling it, right? They should be thankful for COVID. If it wasn't COVID, maybe the system would have choked already. Because that was where it was heading. You think people are going to get up every day and hungry? They can't go on the street and hustle. You see this van now going around and take them off the road. You know, you talk about you have designated areas and you have this and you have that. Designated areas are becoming full most of the times, right? And outside of saying designated areas full, you know what the Christians are saying now? Yes, man. Then to RDs, then to this, then to that. You Christians have never blamed your oppressor. That's why we tell us that Christianity is white supremacy.
God.
Your neck, you know what's a good thing? You're not going to die with the oppressors. Most I want to cut your neck first before him cut theirs. Right? So many of you, the same crime is going to spin right back on you. All right, give it Joshua 9, verse 1.
Canada one can. This is the book of Joshua chapter 9 verse 1. And it came to pass when all the kings which were on this side Jordan in the hills and in the valleys and in all the coast of the great sea over against Lebanon, the Hittite and the Amorite, the Canaanite, the Perizzite, the Hivites, and the Jebusites heard thereof.
All right, all these were Amites. Continue.
Canada one can, verse 2, that they gathered themselves together to fight with Joshua and with Israel with one accord.
All right. So they decide to go in war against us. Verse 3.
Canada one can, verse 3. And when the inhabitants of Gibeon heard what Joshua had done unto Jericho and to Ai, verse 4, they did not work, Slakia, they did work willingly and went and made as if they had been ambassadors and took all sacks upon their asses.
Cunningly or smartly.
Go
on.
Canada one can, and wine bottles, all and rent and bound up. Verse 5, and all shoes and clothed upon their feet, and all garment upon them, and all the bread of their provision was dry and moldy.
All right, so willingly just mean that they were cunningly, in a cunning manner. So here now the scripture is describing how they went, how they came about us. They made themselves to appear as if they were coming from a far place. Get stale bread. They were ambassadors, you know, smart men. They get stale bread and old clothes and empty water bottle and so on and so forth, and come and present themselves like, why are we coming from afar? Continue.
Canada one can. Verse 6, and they went to Joshua and to the camp at Gilgal, and said unto him and to the men of Israel, we be come from a far country. Now therefore make ye a league with us.
Make a league with us. Make a covenant with us, right? Like the League of Nations. The League of Nations became the United Nations. When they talk about United Nations Charter, the Charter of Agreement, you have to go research and read what it is. Every country who is a member of the United Nations signed to that agreement. But it is that league which has held the world since World War II. That's what they think. World War III hasn't started yet because the Most High don't already yet. The Most High said, hold back the wind until me seal up my people. So that is why we keep telling you, Israelites, that it's really you the Most High waiting on. As soon as you are ready, then he's going to just let the wind go and let the war start and take you out. Right? So this is what this league was about in not making war. In other words, this league that they come to us about was that we don't make a war with them. We don't make any war with them. That's what the league is about. Just like the League of Nations, which is now the United Nations. Really and truly, United Nations countries not supposed to war each other. But it happens from time to time.
God.
Hasn't caused any great war yet, but it's on the horizon. All right, so verse 7 now.
Another one can, verse 7. And the men of Israel said unto the Hivites, peradventure ye dwell among us, and how shall we make a league with you? Verse 8. And they said unto Joshua, we are thy servants. And Joshua said unto them, why are ye? Who are ye? And from whence come ye?
In other words, who are you and where you come from? 9.
Canada 1 can, verse 9. And they said unto him, from a very far country thy servant are come because of the name of the Lord thy God. For we have heard the fame of him and all that he did in Egypt.
Okay.
Verse 10. And all that
10.
Canada 1 can, verse 10. And all that he did to the 2 kings of the Amorites that were beyond Jordan, to Sihon king of Heshbon, and to Og king of Bashan, which was at Astaroth.
Right. Og, king of Bashan. Right. 11.
Canada 1 can, verse 11. Wherefore our elders and all the inhabitants of our country spake to us, saying, take victuals with you for the journey, and go to meet them, and say unto them, we are your servants, therefore now make ye a league with us.
Right. So they came now as if that league was just to say, yes, you will make us be your servants. All right. That's what they want. You know, when Christ returns, what will become of the Africans? They'll be a servant of servants. They're going to find themselves at the bottom of the barrel. Right. 12.
Canada 1 can, verse 12. This our bread we took out for our provision out of our houses, and the day we came forth to go unto you. But now, behold, it is dry and it is moldy.
So they are saying that they took the bread straight from the oven the day when they leave out. Hot. And look at the bread now. That means we're coming from afar. All right.
Another 1 can, verse 13. And these bottles of wine which we filled were new, and behold, they be rent. And these our garments and our shoes are become old by reason of the very long journey.
14.
Verse 14. And the men took off their victuals and asked not counsel at the mouth of the Lord.
Right. So we now decide, all right, based on what we see. And this is the same thing that we are facing here today. We are seeing crime among us, and we are seeing the government wanting to fix crime. But it is our duty to ask to seek counsel from the Most High, as to counsel from our God, as to what is really happening and what should the solution be. Because we know, in the same way that these Gibeonites are fitting to what's the word I want to use now? To beguile us, is the same way our government is fitting now to beguile us with these crime statistics. Right? You put it there in the first place. The method in which you're going to try and to solve it now. Yes, many of the Christians and so on is going to say, yes, at last crime gone down. But you don't give up one rat's ass about what happened to your brother man in the prison, what happened to your brother man outside of your church.
God.
Right? Not knowing that your ass is already sold to the devil inside that Christian warehouse and the Rastafarism, and those of you that are Muslim, all of you in other religions in which the Most High don't approve, your ass is already sold to the devil.
Right.
So you are not going to feel good in seeing your brother man die. But remember, none of us out here made the guns. None of us out here made the bullets.
Right.
None of us out here brought crime to Jamaica. None of us out here has closed any industry.
Right.
It's all the doings of the oppressor. But we must pay the price with our blood so that you can bring in whatever measure you see fit to bring in now. We can't tell you any measure that come in now, it is just to hold the population. Vision 2030, they are still on that track. So obviously part of Vision 2030 is to minimize our population. Right? We see it, you know. Yeah, we in the truth see it. We seen it play now. We seen it play out, man. But it's you and the Most High. Remember, you know, God not sleeping. So in the same way, these Gibeonites are fitting to beguile us. Continue.
Another one can. Verse 15. And Joshua made peace with them and made a league with them to let them live, and the princes of the congregation swear unto them. Verse 16. And it came to pass at the end of 3 days after they had made a league with them, that they heard that they were their neighbors and that they dwelt among them.
3 days after they make the league, they find out, say, these men live right among us, right in this land here, you know. That time it's too late. So we know they have a plan to move GP. And in order to move GP, they are going to have to build a maximum security prison. We don't know which foreign country is going to sponsor that, but some foreign country is going to sponsor that. In order for them to get the people to agree that that foreign country should build that prison to replace GP, because all that area is going to be become a republic. It's going to become a industrial complex,
right,
around that side, right? So in order to get the people to say, yes, man, build the prison, you allow crime to reach where it reach. And you come and you cry and you go on and you behave like, boy, I have no control over this crime. What can I do? Yeah. And then the idiot Christian them are going to say, kill them out, man, shoot them off.
God.
But we know better than that.
Right.
We know that we can end up being the victim of crime too, but that doesn't mean that we must want to see the death and the worst of our people when they are not the ones who are really the cause of the situation that they are in.
Right.
And many of you don't want to blame your oppressor. Your oppressor make you born in Jamaica. Why you not born somewhere else? Because you have no control over that. Well, it's the same thing with the guys in the crime, the brothers in the crime. You know them situation, right? It's few of them could have said, boy, we're not going this road. Few of them.
Good.
But it is what you expose unto them, right? Is what you allow them to be exposed to. And you all did blame the dancehall. Now you don't have the dancehall and the crime worse. You might have bring back the dancehall, free up the dancehall. Maybe that might help the crime, because at least them go out and enjoy themselves.
Right.
Right? The reveling, the most I don't like the reveling, you know. The man don't have to go dance go revel, you know. And broke out and skin out and everything, you know. Them things don't have to go on. It is just a place for entertainment. And the most I has never been against entertainment.
Right.
It's against reveling. We do these things with control. Right? I never used to benefit from dance. I never keep no dance. But I tell you, that's one of the ways in which you probably can stop the crime, because dancehall our entertainment run from one end of the island onto the next. So because of that, you find that you can appease the people from one end of the island onto the next. But now you can't appease them. But it's the Most High making his move now. Let's see how you going to play it out. Continue.
Gun. Verse 16. And it came to pass at the end of 3 days, Salakia. Verse 17. And the children of Israel journeyed and came unto their cities on the 3rd day. Now their cities were Gibeon and Chephara and Beerath and Kirjath Jearim.
Right. So after 3 days there, 3 days journey is a good way. After that still, you know. 3 days walking.
God.
18.
Another one can, verse 18. And the children of Israel smote them not, because the princes of the congregation had sworn unto them by the Lord God of Israel. And all the congregation murmured against the princes.
The congregation murmured. Who were the princes? Those among us who were in charge, captains of this, and Joshua was the top man. He was the top. He was the judge. Then there was the priests, and so on and so forth. And none of them inquired of the Most High before they made this league with these Gibeonites. Now, after they follow them, they go and learn where their cities are, and they find that these 3 cities them belong to them. So them say, all right, we make a league with you, we can't go kill you. Make the league already. Continue.
Another one can. But all the princes said unto all the congregation, we have sworn unto them by the Lord God of Israel. Now therefore, we may not touch them.
Right. We swear unto them already. We can't touch them. And we have sworn unto them by our God. Now, this is why Christianity can, in the church, they can chat so much things and nothing is held accountable to them, because who are they swearing to? They are swearing unto Caesar Borgia, a dead God. Caesar Borgia can't hold them accountable to anything. But as soon as we swear unto our God, hey, our God is alive and well and kicking and boxing and thumping, whip the hell out of you when you don't go through with what you swear that you were going to do. All right, verse what now? 20?
Verse 20, can. Verse 20. This we will do to them. We will even let them live, lest wrath be upon us, because of the oath which we swear unto them.
So our people understood at this time, this we will have to do. We're going to have to let them live because of the oath which we swear unto them. We swear unto them that we are going to let them live. 21.
Another one can, verse 21. And the princes said unto them, let them live, but let them be hewers of wood and drawers of water unto all the generation, the congregation, as the princes had promised them.
Right. So in other words, they had already presented themselves as servants unto us. And we swear to let them live. So the princes said, well, let them be hewers of wood and draw of water. So they became the woodcutter and the water fetcher. They became the servant of servants. Continue.
Another one can. Verse 22. And Joshua called for them, and he spake unto them, saying, wherefore have ye beguiled us, saying, we are very far from you, when ye dwell among us? Verse 23. Now therefore ye are cursed, and there shall none of you be freed from being bondmen and hewers of wood and drawers of water for the house of my God.
All right. So none of you are not going to escape this. All of you are going into slavery. You're all going to be slaves unto us. And it's not even slave of the highest caliber, but slaves of the lowest caliber.
Okay.
Continue.
Another one can, verse 24. And they answered Joshua and said, because it was certainly told thy servants, how the Lord thy God commanded his servants Moses to give you all the land and to destroy all the inhabitants of the land from before you. Therefore, we were sore afraid of our lives because of you, and have done this thing.
Right. So they said they did this out of fear.
Okay.
So I can't say the same thing to the government about our government, that their actions that are coming is out of fear. To me, it's more out of why the hell you won't keep quiet and go ahead and die of hunger so that the rest of us can get along with our lives.
Good.
It's not out of fear. You want to see them act out of fear? Let the gun start pointing in their direction. And you see what happens. Continue.
Canada one can. Verse 25. And now, behold, we are in thine hand, as it seemeth good and right unto thee to do unto us. Do.
All right, 26.
Verse 26. And so did he unto them, and delivered them out of the hand of the children of Israel, that they slew them not.
Death was certainly coming to them. It's smart on their part. But I don't know. Are you saying that you rather to live the life of the lowest of slavery than to die? I don't know. Maybe I would choose that. Because we already know what sufferation is. Here we are in it. So you think of you going into something worse than this. Awesome. All right, 27.
Canada one can, verse 27. And Joshua made them that day hewers of wood and drawers of water for the congregation and for the altar of the Lord, even unto this day, in the place which he should choose.
All right, but by the time it reached to David in 2 Samuel, many years that passed, from the time of Joshua, go through all the judges, coming onto the second king of Israel now. Then talking about probably hundreds of years. Right? You're talking about probably hundreds of years that we now come and, well, it wasn't David, it was Saul. That Saul come now and said, "No, so we're tired of you people in the land now. Kill them up." But the Most High punish us for that because of that decision. All right, go back to 2 Samuel now, verse 3.
Canada one can. Canada one can. This is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 21, verse 3. Wherefore David said unto the Gibeonites, what shall I do for you? And wherewith shall I make the atonement, that he may bless the inheritance of the Lord?
All right, so David now is seeking to appease the Gibeonites because it's because of what we did to them a couple of years before this that we are now going through famine. Continue.
Canada one can, verse 4. And the Gibeonites said unto him, we will have no silver, nor gold of Saul, nor of his house, neither for us shalt thou kill any man in Israel. And he said, what ye shall say, that will I do for you.
Whatever you ask, we will do for you. 21. 3, verse 4.
5. Canada one can, verse 5. And they answered the king, the man that consumed us and that devised against us that we should be destroyed from remaining in any of the coasts of Israel. Verse 6. Let 7 men of his sons be delivered unto us, and we will hang them up unto the Lord in Gibeah of Saul, whom the Lord did choose. And the king said, I will give them.
So they demanded 7 men from the house of Saul. Rockstone. 7 Benjamite head they want. And not just any Benjamite, from the former king's house.
Okay.
So they wanted 7 men related to the former king. All right, continue.
Another one can, verse 7. But the king spared Mephibosheth, the son of Jonathan, the son of Saul, because of the Lord's oath that was between them, between David and Jonathan, the son of Saul.
So David understand the depth of making an oath. And you remember, David had sworn to Jonathan that this bond that he is establishing with Jonathan shall be established to Jonathan and Jonathan's son and Jonathan's son's son. He will not do them anything. So he could not have given up Mephibosheth. So even though Mephibosheth had spoken, well, he said he didn't do it, but he was seen to be as one who went against the king when the king was in exile from his son. But the king could not give him up because of the oath that he had with Mephibosheth's father, who was Jonathan. Continue.
Another one can. Verse 8. But the king took the 2 sons of Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, whom she bare unto Saul, Harmony and Mephibosheth, and Mephibosheth, and the 5 sons of Michal, daughter of Saul, whom she brought up for Adriel, the son of Barzillai, the Meholathite.
So, wasn't Michal the daughter that Saul gave to David?
And
then Saul,
that was her name, sir. Can.
Right. And then Saul took her back and gave her to a next man. When David became king, David went back and get him. Now David took the 5 sons from her. David took all of her sons. But she was the same one who had something to say when David was bringing up the Ark of the Covenant. And David danced until his clothes fell off.
God.
And she had something to say about it. So David now get what? David now easy now. This is vengeance for David. All right, so where are we now? Verse 9.
Verse 9. And he delivered them into the hands of the Gibeonites, and they hung them in the hill before the Lord. And they fell all 7 together, and were put to death in the days of harvest, in the first days, in the beginning of barley harvest.
So here now, he delivered them. The Gibeonites take them and hang them up. Man. Verse 10.
Verse 10. And Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, took sackcloth and spread it for her upon the rock from the beginning of harvest until water dropped upon them out of heaven, and suffered neither the birds of the air to rest on them by day, nor the beasts of the field by night.
Right. So this daughter now mourning her I think what is her two sons now? Right. The king took the two sons of Rizpah. Right. So Rizpah now mourn her two sons by spreading out this big black cloth. It was sackcloth. Spread it out upon a rock in mourning of her two sons. Verse 11.
Verse 11. And it was told David what Rizpah, daughter of Aiah, the concubine of Saul, had done. Verse 12. And David went and took the bones of Saul and the bones of Jonathan his son from the men of Jabesh Gilead, which had stolen them from the street of Bethsham, where the Philistines had hung them, when the Philistines had slain Saul in Gilboa.
Right. So David realized that, there is persons within Saul's house that is really mourning. And this is sincere mourning. So David, now in order to appease them, David got the bone of Saul and the bone of Jonathan and gave them an honorary funeral. Because indeed they were former king and prince. So he gave them an honorary funeral. Was that now 13?
Verse 13. And he brought up from thence the bones of Saul and the bones of Jonathan his son, and they gathered the bones of them that were hanged. Verse 14. And the bones of Saul and Jonathan his son buried they in the country of Benjamin, in Zelah, in the sepulchre of Kish his father. And they performed all that the king commanded. And after that, God was entreated for the land.
Right. So, come on. Right, so Saul and his son was properly laid to rest now. And the word, sorry, what should we know? We going back on our word through Saul was now appeased by the Most High. You're taking note of these things, man. People, when they talk, sometimes things that happen and pass gone, and you talk about the people say, I love remember things, so man. The Most High forget nothing.
God.
Right? We go through 400 years of slavery. You know, when you think it was the generation that went into slavery, that wasn't the generation that didn't keep the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments, The generation that went into slavery was a generation innocent to what they were enslaved for. But this is how God works. Who was feeling the at the time when this famine was going on? I mean, David wasn't the man who did the evil, committed the evil acts to the Gibeonites. It was Saul, but it was under David's rulership that the blood was required.
God.
And he had to deliver what they had asked for. 7 men from the house of Saul. That is harsh. You don't want to be in that 7. You couldn't resist, because when the king sent his army to take you, you have to go. Or they kill the same place. All right. Numbers 30 and 2.
Can everyone can? Can everyone can? This is the book of Numbers, chapter 30 and verse 2. If a man vow a vow unto the Lord, or
Start
swear,
from 1. Start from 1.
I'm Slakia. Say that again, sir.
Start from 1.
Can everyone can? This is the book of Numbers, chapter 30 and verse 1. And Moses spake unto the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, this is the thing which the Lord has commanded.
So this vow, this is why the other nation can come and make promises to us and don't keep it and nothing happened to them. Because these commandments was unto us, to the children of Israel. So this is why now the church don't want to tell you that you are the children of Israel.
Okay.
Because then you are going to start. It is for us to start keeping the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments. And by we keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments, all them false leaders who keep pushing things onto us, let us looking like the evil ones, they will go away. Most High will get rid of them.
Okay.
Right. You were saying?
Salakia, your signal just went out for like about 20 seconds a while ago.
Huh?
Your picture wasn't moving for like 20 seconds a while ago, so I was telling everybody that you're having technical difficulties, but it came back on. Salakia.
Look what this brother has said. Put down the gun and pick up. I see our I.S.U.P.K. I see you know about Jamaica, man. You know about the red stripe. Put down the gun and take up a red stripe. Yeah, that was what we used to drink in dancing back in the days. We drink a red stripe. Now when you do go to a dance, if you see red stripe in there, you see you're not seeing it. You don't see that. What you see? Pure foreign liquor. So maybe them foreign liquor will kill the people who are killing off them one another too. You know. Wonder what they put in them. Because them not so violent when they were drinking local liquors. They start drinking foreign liquor and thing now, man, them get cross and cruel against each other, man. What was I saying again? You just read the oath, right? These were unto us, the children of Israel. This was unto us, the children of Israel. That is why your pastor don't want you to know that we are the children of Israel. Because when you read the Bible, you're going to see that the instructions were for you. And when you start to follow these instructions, you know, even if them other race who believe that they are spiritual Israelites and them fool things, even if they start to do what this scripture says, which they're not going to do, because what it requires, they are not prepared to buckle down that much, right? They want to hold on to our writings, our book, the Bible, and keep up their nasty in the same way. These men have them boyfriend and want to hold the Bible in one hand. The women have them girlfriend, hold the Bible in one hand. They eat pork and shrimp, lobster. If you go to a Eden, or if a Eden invite you home for dinner and then provide ham or lobster, you are going to think, wow, they think highly of me. the people don't know that they're messing you up, right? But you are going to take it as an honor that they gave you lobster dinner, but it's actually dishonor. Yes.
So, okay, sir, I think against that line, I'm just looking at how Christianity, sometimes it makes you think deep, as yeah, the whole hypocrisy surrounding Christianity. Because even as that thing like the dietary laws, when I sometimes would refer to first the dietary laws and what we're to eat and not to eat. You know, I know Christians who just make the mock and say, well, if they were made to clean the sea, they'll clean my belly. And these are the writings of the Lord in the Bible. They carry the Bible, they profess to believe in it, but it's like a mockery.
When they start feeling the after effect, I hope it can still clean their belly. Because there gonna be repercussions. You who know the truth and still do the wrong will be flogged with many stripes. So you let them stay there. You come in the truth and you know better, do better. It's not long from now before the Most High is going to show what is his and what is not his. And that is how many of our people is going to get whipped in it. You're looking at almost the entire police force and the entire army. And I say almost because there are persons within those where they know better. Well, they have read the book and they want to do better, and the Most High is going to give them the opportunity to do better. But I want to hope that they are able to grasp that opportunity when it comes. And the Most High, I think the Most High is a long thing this time. 400 years, that's long enough for you to, you know what, you probably go to at least 2 or 3 incarnations.
Right.
For the past 400 years to be where you are now, to come and now do the right thing. You are the children of Israel. You read the Bible and you follow those instructions that was given to you. It was for you. It wasn't for anybody else. Right? And you come into the I.S.U.P.K under commanding general here, and we show you the under commanding general YAHANNA, and we show you the proper way to keep these instructions that are in this, to follow these instructions that are in the Bible.
Right.
We show you the proper way. Don't stay out there and be self-righteous and believe that you can do it on your own. The Bible always talk about flock. And I've never seen a flock of one. Not even a flock of birds. And you talk about it. Oh, there goes a flock of birds. And then look, it's only one. No. You talk about his sheep, this flock of his sheep. And flock is never one. So you don't believe that you can stay outside of the truth simply because you don't want to follow no orders from no man. No man can't tell me what to do, you know. Me stay out and do my thing. No. You are one of those who you first gonna die. Because obviously, you know that you should be following these instructions. But out of disobedience and out of not wanting to follow others, you're going to stay outside now and follow yourself. Nah. You're going to become a fake Israelite. You're going to be so lukewarm that the Most High is going to spew you out.
Right.
Where are we now?
Numbers 30 and 2.
Yeah.
Another one can. If a man vow a vow unto the Lord, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceeded out of his mouth.
If a man vow a vow unto the Lord, and this was what we did to these Gibeonites, we made a vow to them that, okay, we're not going to, we won't kill you. We swear by the God of heaven, the same God who delivered us out of the hands of the Egyptian, that we're not going to kill you. Gibeon smile because they know that they have won their life. The only thing we could do is, yeah, we have to spare them, but they make them viewers of food and drawers of water. Well, today we don't need nobody to view no food for us because, you know, cook on gas stove and other things. So I'm sorry for anybody who want to come and make no league with Christ. It's gonna be worse this time. And it's Christ is the one you will have to go to and make that league. You won't be able to deceive him.
Right.
You won't be able to deceive Christ and his angels. All right, so this was how now they went and deceived. The Gibeonites deceived Joshua and the men at that time. And we now come pay the price of trying to get rid of them years after. Because obviously they would have multiplied in the land. So they became plenteous in the land. And we and them have similar skin color. Right? So these are those of you who call yourself Africans and you are Israelites, you're actually lower in your standard.
Right.
Because these Africans among us, they were hewers of wood and drawers of water. So guess what? We don't even want to mix our seed with them. Not even as much as that they would have gotten. All right. Drop me now to Acts 5, 1 to 11.
Canada one can.
You know, as best as we can, we have to touch the New Testament and show you a parallel in the New Testament when it comes to vow, when it comes to word. The word is a bond. Acts 5, 1 to 11.
Night. Canada one can. This is the book of Acts, chapter 5, verse 1. But a certain man named Ananias with Sapphira.
Ananias and Sapphira.
With Sapphira, his wife, sold a possession. Verse 2. And kept back part of the price. His wife also being privy to it, and brought a certain part and laid it at the apostles' feet. Verse 3. But Peter said, Ananias, why has Satan filled thine heart to lie to the Holy Spirit and to keep back part of the price of the land? Verse
right,
4.
So they made a promise to the Most High under the guise of under the watchful eyes of the Holy Spirit, that they are going to sell this piece of land and donate the money unto the apostles. This was in the time of Acts after Christ crucified, and it was called church then. Now we say school, but it was called church then, and it was the church was growing. The schools were growing then. So they made a promise that we're going to sell this land and donate all the money to the school. Now, nobody approached them to do it. They made that decision themselves. Continue.
Canada one gun, verse 4. Whilst it remained, was it not thine own? And after it was sold, was it not in thine own power? Why hast thou conceived this thing in thine heart? Thou hast not lied unto me, but unto God.
Thou hast not lied unto men, but unto God. So they, even when them sell it, is after they sell it, they say, you know, we're going to donate all our money to the school. And then they go back and they say, so we're not have to give this school the whole life. Here we're going to do. Let us give them this portion. And we keep back this portion. It was all theirs, you know. They could have sold the land and keep it for themselves. But this is an example to show you that even in the New Testament, your word is still your bond when it comes to the Most High God. So there was no priest there that they went before to say, I am making a vow. They did it right there before the Holy Spirit. Right? They told a lie to the Holy Spirit to keep back part of the parcel of the land. Continue.
Another one, verse 5. And Ananias, hearing these words, fell down and gave up the ghost. And great fear came on all them that heard these things.
Right. So this was one of the things that the Most High used to show the rest of the congregation that don't play with God. God is still in this house.
God.
Most High is with this people. The Most High is still with these people. So don't play with this house. Continue.
Another one, verse 6. And the young men arose, wound him up and carried him out and buried him.
So these was the days when you're dead today, you're buried today. No funeral parlor to come and keep you for no extended period of time.
God.
You just carry him go bury him. This is a sorry for him if it was a case where he fell into a coma. If it was a case where he fell into a coma, then sorry, you're still buried alive. Well, you were buried alive. Like Buju Banton. Continue.
Another one, verse 7. And it was about the space of 3 hours after, when his wife, not knowing what was done, came in. Verse 8. And Peter answered unto her, Tell me, whither ye sold the land for so much? And she said, Yea, for so much. Verse 9. Then Peter said unto her, How is it that ye have agreed together to tempt the Spirit of the Lord? Behold, the feet of them which have buried thine husband are at the door, and shall carry thee out.
Right. So the wife comes in now, don't even know that the husband dropped down dead and has been buried. She come in now with the same lie. So you stay there. The same man them who gone to bury your husband are going to come and carry you. You come join the lies. She had no idea what took place with her husband. Continue.
Another one, verse 10. Then fell she down straightway at his feet, and yielded up the ghost. And the young men came in and found her dead, and carried her forth, buried her by her husband.
Bury her beside her husband. All right, so then get 2 free burial spots. But their life became what's the word, proper word to use now? Their life became an example unto those who were left behind.
God.
Because those who were left behind and saw what happened, and here we are now reading about it. We know that don't lie unto the Holy Spirit. Whatever comes out of your mouth that you swear that you're going to do, just do it.
God.
The Most High requires it of you. So it's probably best if you just don't make any promises, don't make these vows. You are not required to. But if you find yourself in a spot that you think you need to make a vow for them to get the Most High on your side to get you out, just perform the vow.
Right.
We see where there was one of the judge, forgot his name. He was in a situation and they said to the Most High, said, well, when I get back home, first thing that come out of my house, I'm going to sacrifice it unto you. And lo and behold, his beloved daughter was the first thing that came out of his house, come to greet him. And he had to sacrifice his daughter because that was the promise he made. Continue.
Canada 1 Con, verse 12. And by the hand of the apostles were many signs and wonders wrought among the people, and they were all with one accord in Solomon's porch.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 13.
Hold on. I think we will stay in we'll stop at 11. And great fear came upon all the church and upon as many as heard these things. So the Most High didn't even have to do this again. The Most High just used that instance, used their life as an example to drive fear into the other people and let them know to fear God. Don't play with God. Don't play with the Most High. All right, give me back now. Go back to 2 Samuel 21.
Canada 1 Con.
Verse 15.
Canada 1 Con. This is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 21 and verse 15. Moreover, the Philistines had yet war again with Israel. And David went down, and his servants with him, and fought against the Philistines, and David waxed faint.
All right, so David now getting old. But David went out to war with the Philistines, you know. It is said that the mind never grow old. So even when the body is getting old and the body can't do the things it used to do, the mind is still young. In the mind, you're still that fit, young, agile person, you know. So David went out into battle to fight against the Philistine. Verse 16.
Canada 1 Con. Verse 16. And Ish-Bemonad, which was the sons of the giant, the weight of whose spear weighed 300 shekels of brass in weight, he being girded with a new sword, thought to have slain David.
Right, so this giant now came down on David, overpowering David. Bop, bop, bop. You know, when David was young, I think David slew giants, but this giant now have David in a way. Verse 17.
Canada 1 Con, verse 17. But Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, succored him and smote the Philistine and killed him. Then the men of David swear unto him, saying, Thou shalt
Abishai,
go.
hold on. So Abishai now succored David, meaning that he defended David in battle.
Good.
So because he saw where this man was overpowering David, because David get tired. So this younger man now came in and bap and strike some blows on the giant and kill him. And then what happened?
Canada 1 Con. Then the men of David swear unto him, saying, Thou shalt go no more out with us to battle, that thou quench not the light of Israel.
All right. Now, to our online viewers, we're going to remind you to sign in the attendance sheet. Fill in the attendance sheet, the class attendance sheet, please. Abakasha. Right, so the men of David swear unto him, saying, Thou shalt go no more out with us to battle, that thou quench not the light of Israel. So can you imagine if Israel now hear that David died in battle? Wow, that is what these warriors were talking about. So no, you can't, don't come back out with us to battle. You're the king, but stay home. And you die in battle. If we die, the nation goes on. But if you die in battle, you're going to quench the light of Israel. Meaning, people are going to get faint-hearted, and your enemies are going to see it as their false God giving them power over Israel. So guess what? Don't come back out to battle. Now this is what they swear unto David. Take me now to Deuteronomy 23, verse 23.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23, verse 23. That which is gone out of thy lips, thou shalt keep and perform, even a free will offering, according as thou hast vowed unto the Lord thy God, which thou hast promised with thy mouth.
Whatever you promise with your mouth. So they swear to David, says, you swear not to take, we're not taking you out into battle again. So guess what? They had to do it. Each time we went to battle after that instance, David wasn't there. You know, the mind is young, but the body is really getting old. You know, and it speaks to some of us today. Speak to some of us today, not only to David. So, the Most High is telling you, this is unto us, that even a free will offering, you vow it, it come out of your mouth, perform it. That means that even if you say, I go and donate this, when it's a free will, it means it's not a tithe, you know. You're saying, boy, you know, I'll give a $500 to the church. Church, of course, meaning this congregation, to the Research School. We're going to give $500 to command in General YAHANNA. That's a free will, you know. That's not tithes.
Gone.
But once you vow it, you get that money, you make sure you do it.
Gone.
That's what this is saying. All right. Go back to Samuel's.
Another one gone.
Starting 18 now.
Another one gone. This is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 21 and verse 18. And it came to pass after this that there was again a battle with the Philistines at Gob, and I.S.U.P.K, the Hushathite, slew Saph, which was of the sons of the giant. Verse 19. And there was again a battle in Gob with the Philistines, where Elhanan, the son of Jim, a Bethlehemite, slew the brother of Goliath, the Gittite, the staff of whose spear was like a weaver beam.
Right, so these men were big six-finger men. So really big men. Continue.
Another one can. Verse 20. And there was yet a battle in Gath, where was a man of great stature that had on every hand 6 fingers, and on every foot 6 toes, 24 in number, and he also was born to the giant.
All right, so this man was so big that the span of his hand requires 6 fingers. So when he did this, you see 5 fingers plus the thumb. Bam. Probably you can grab it all your head like a basketball. Continue.
Verse 21. And when he defied Israel, Jonathan, the son of Shemaiah, the brother of David, slew him.
Right. So all these giants came up. I think they were the last of the giants who were in the land. But, you know, these giants were not the giants which the Bible speaks of before the flood. These were men who were in the land. The land was so fertile that, you know, everything just, in some areas, everything just get bigger than normal. The grapes, that's some really big grapes. Pranganat, big like breadfruit, you know, some really big things. And the people, big. But they were not that plentiful. But we know when the Most High put us in the land, we killed out all the giants out of the land. So here now, David brother, Shammai the brother of David slew one. All right, 22.
Verse 22. These 4 were born to the giant in God, and fell by the hand of David, and by the hand of his servants.
So these 4 giants died under David's hand. These were men who probably that's why the Philistines were able to come up against us so many times, because they had these men among them. Right? And the Most High give us the strength to put them down. As big as them be, you know, we run rings around them and slew them with the sword. All right, questions?
No question.
Hold on, question? Young man. Young man, any question?
Oh, sister,
No, me say if you have any question.
no question.
In Proverbs 18 and verse 4, when it says, the words of a man's mouth are as deep waters, and the wellspring of wisdom as a flowing brook. Why does it stated like that? Can you explain?
Proverbs
18 verse 4.
All right, Proverbs is a book that deals with what?
Wisdom.
Words of wisdom. All right. So in verse 3 it says, when the wicked cometh, when the wicked cometh, then cometh also contempt, and with ignominy reproach. All right. So we're going to look for them to read it. Contempt. You know what contempt is? What is contempt? C-O T-E-M-P-T. All right, so contempt is the feeling that a person or thing is worthless or beneath consideration. Right, a fool and when the wicked cometh, then cometh contempt. Right, all right. Just like how we have the wicked ruling over us, now believing that we are of no worth. That's why they want all these kind of laws now about to catch a man with a gun, kill him. So that is them thinking of nothing of you, thinking you are not even worthy of being mentioned. Ignominy is what? Ignominy or ignominy? Ignominy, right. You found it?
Public shame or disgrace.
Public shame. Yeah. Just like where they made that speech, right in the parliament. Publicly state that them to kill you. Disgrace them, I disgrace you, don't know. So you're not nobody. They don't even worth being carried in to face the judge. All right, the next line now says, the words of a man's mouth are as deep waters, and the wellspring of wisdom as a flowing brook. All right, the words of a man's mouth. What deep waters can do to you? Can drown you. So this is the man who is just speaking out of the abundance of speech in his mouth. You understand? Maybe he is educated. I mean, just one of them, man. They like how we have the parliament and parliamentarians over us, because those speeches that they make is deep waters indeed.
Can.
And the wellspring of wisdom. So the man mouth speak, but there is not necessarily wisdom. But once there is wisdom, it's like a flowing brook. What a flowing brook does. It moves. It water your plant. It water the earth. Gives you water for you to use. You can go and use domestic water and so. When they use the word flowing brook, it's generally a word in the brook. The flowing brook is not one that is so dangerous to you. When the Bible talks about this flowing brook, you don't think of waters which is dangerous to you. Think of water which is life to you, right? If you have a garden, you have a flowing brook through it. That is a well-watered garden. You have a garden, you have a garden here, and you have deep waters running through it. Trust me. You know, your animals gonna get dropping that. Maybe you dropping it too. So they put it just here to show the man who talk, or the man who, and then you have the man who speak, whose word is like wisdom, like whose word is like a flowing brook. Speak life into you, right? So then parliamentarians, they're not speaking life into our people. They are telling they are saying that the death penalty must come back. All these hard things. But what we in the UPK was read the Bible and understand what is going on. What are we saying? We know how you get the people to reach this way. How are you going to put these measures on them? We don't make the guns. We don't make the bullet. How did they get out here? Why don't you put that effort in preventing the guns from coming out here? Rather than when it comes, you're going to kill us.
God.
Right? Which of those is life unto the people? Our speech or the parliamentarian speech? Right. So our speech would be like the flowing brook. Their speech is like deep waters. Right? Does that answer the question? All right. So with that, be no more question. Do you have any online though? Is there any question online?
Yeah, no question online.
I am Judah. We always say, I am Judah, you know. But welcome to our online viewers, all of you. And with that, we pass the class over to Priest and Officer Kayadwan.
Clap it up. These are the ISUPK security announcements. We're the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or a sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can find this in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 to 10. Means 10 in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you'd like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation. The next upcoming Holy Convocation is the Feast of Purim, which is the 14th and the 15th day of the 12th month. That is Monday the 14th and Tuesday the 15th of February. You can find this in the book of Esther, chapter 9, verse 20 and to 31. Salakia. Reminding Akiam and Aquatium to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and material. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he's to start wearing all black, which include black boots, shirts, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, we say I-M-A-D-U, which means to stand. Star Wapanya Aquadam, which means turn and face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew and then in English. Abanawa.
Abanawa.
Shabashamayam.
Shabashamayam.
Kodash.
Kodash.
Aya.
Aya.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahawa.
Yahawa.
Malakwatka.
Malakwatka.
Taba'a.
Taba'a.
Ratazaka.
Ratazaka.
Aya.
Aya.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Barataza.
Barataza.
Kawa. Aya.
Aya.
Bashamayam.
Bashamayam.
Nathan Lanawa.
Nathan Lanawa.
Lakam.
Lakam.
Kal.
Kal.
Yawam.
Yawam.
Wasalak Nawa.
Wasalak Nawa.
Kawabwatya Nawa.
Kawat Nawa.
Kasalak Nawa.
Kasalak Nawa.
Kawawatya Nawa.
Kawatya Nawa.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Tabaya Nawa.
Tabaya Nawa.
Banasaya one.
Anasaya one.
Abba.
Abba.
Awashai Nawa.
Awashai Nawa.
Mayan.
Maya.
Right.
Right.
Kaya.
Kai.
Laka,
Laka,
Amalakwa,
Amalakwa,
Wa'ala,
Wahala,
Wa'atapara,
Watakapara,
La'aiwalamiam,
Laiolaman,
Ama.
Amen. In English, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts,
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts,
as we forgive our debtors.
as we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation,
And lead us not into temptation,
but deliver us from evil, for thine is the kingdom,
but deliver us from evil, for thine is the kingdom,
and the power, and the glory.
and the power, and the glory,
So be it.
forever so be it.
Prayer for the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh,
Blessed are you, Yahweh,
King of heaven and earth, and all things living.
King of heaven and earth and all things living.
Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai,
Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai,
listen to us now,
listen to us now,
right now.
right now.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction
to the heathen
to the heathen
that speak against us, thy prophets,
that speak against us, thy prophets,
the teachers,
the teachers,
the princes,
the princes,
The princes,
the priests,
the priests,
the priests,
the Israelite brothers, and the school.
the Israelite brothers and the school.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction
to the heathen,
to the heathen,
and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel,
and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel,
that refuse to give to the school.
that refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary.
Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction
to the Edomites and the nations,
to the Edomites and the nations,
and their drug dealers,
and their drug dealers,
court system,
court system,
prison system,
the prison system,
Planned Parenthood,
Planned Parenthood,
all the governments of our enemies,
all the governments of our enemies,
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Roman Catholic Church,
Roman Catholic Church,
the Pope,
the Pope,
Islam,
Islam,
Christianity,
Christianity,
Egyptology,
Egyptology,
militia,
militia,
Ku Klux Klan,
Ku Klux Klan,
Aryan Nation,
Aryan Nation,
Skinheads,
Skinheads,
Posse Comitazi,
Pasikomatazi,
the gay movement,
the gay movement,
the lesbian movement,
lesbian movement,
spies,
spies,
workers of witchcraft,
workers of witchcraft,
NASA space programs,
NASA space program,
Army,
Army,
Navy,
Navy,
Air Force,
Air Force,
Marines,
Marines,
Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Open up the internet and the airways.
Open up the internet and the airway.
the cable access channels,
cable access channels,
and the radio channels.
and the radio channels.
Convict the spirit of any of thy people
Convict the spirit of any of thy people
that seek to stop us
that seek to stop us
and bring swift destruction to all the heathen
and bring swift destruction to all the Eden
that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words.
that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words
Throughout the planet Earth.
throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues.
Let loose all the plagues.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Through the earth.
Through the earth.
And consume them.
And consume them.
Let the plague shake.
Let the plague shake.
The house of the thief and the murderer.
The house of the thief and the murderer.
Let YAHANNA, Michael, and Gabriel.
Let YAHANNA, Michael, and Gabriel
come down with the flying saucers.
Come down with the flying saucers.
And punish all the heathens.
And punish all the heathens
that come up against us as we speak thy word.
That come up against us as we speak thy word.
Cause it to be known by all.
Cause it to be known by all.
That it is the angels that have done it.
That it is the angels that has done it.
Cause it to be spread through the media.
Cause it to be spread through the media.
Throughout the whole world.
Throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
In the name of YAHANNA, I thank you always so be.
In the name of YAHANNA, I thank you always so be. This is the prayer for the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Basham Yahweh.
Basham Yahweh.
Babakosha.
Babakosha.
Nathan Lanawa.
Nathan Lanawa.
Aka.
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 Larapa'a.
Larapa'a.
Kalmakala.
Kalmakala.
Wakal Madawa.
Wakal Madawa.
Aka.
Aka.
Lata'a.
Lata'a.
Amatazarayam.
Amatazarayam.
Aka.
Aka.
La Aquayam.
La Aquayam.
Amathiam.
Amathiam.
Aka.
Aka.
Irakawa.
Irakawa.
Atamala.
Atamala.
Agarashan.
Agarashan.
Asham Yahweh.
Asham Yahweh.
THAWADAH man.
THAWADAH. In English, Yahweh in the name of Yahweh.
Yahweh in the name of Yahweh.
Please give us the power.
Please give us the power.
The power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
The power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to raise the dead.
The power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
The power against unclean spirits.
To cast them out in the name of Yahweh.
To cast them out in the name of Yahweh.
Thank you, so be.
Thank you, so be it. This is the prayer for the blessings in the Hebrew. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Basham Yahweh.
Basham Yahweh.
Barak Lanawa.
Barak Lanawa.
Wayasharala.
Wayasharala.
Wa'a.
Waha.
Bayatsapariam.
Bayatsapariam.
Bashem Yahweh. Slakia. Barak. Slakia.
Barak.
Rapa'a.
Rapa'a.
Magan.
Magan.
Agan.
Hagan.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
The generals.
The generals.
The captains.
The captains.
The officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
The troopers.
The young men and the sisters.
Young men and sisters.
Basham Yahawashai.
Basham Yahawashai.
THAWADAH man.
THAWADAH man. All right, what do I just say in English? Yahweh, in the name of Yahawashai, bless us and Israel and the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones. In the name of Yahawashai, thank you, so be.
All right, sir, which means a turn. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher, men of Israel. Imadium Shabbat. Imadium. Barak. Yahweh Basham Yahawashai Brakatah.
Yahweh Basham Yahawashai Brakatam.
Yaremata. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters, men of Israel. Imadium Shabbat. Imadium. Barak. Yahweh Shamar Alatan Basham Yahawashai. Yaremata. Class dismissed.
All right. Our online viewers, please again remember to fill in the attendance sheet. Salaki to you, General Katam. Shalom to you, sir. Yahweh Katam to you. Remember to fill in our online sheet. Remember to like, share, subscribe to our channels. Go to ISUPK.com and pay your tithes. Wow, my brain getting tired, man. All right. So until next time, we're gonna be saying for now, Shalom. All right, let me see. Passover. Share.
I.S.U.P.K. 53rd Annual Lord Passover.
53rd Annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida.
It's going down.
You are here tonight to get a chance to be righteous enough to be worthy of God. Come on, to save you.
That's right.
It's going down. The Lord's 53rd Annual Passover.
When we say we no cowards, we talk that business. We no cowards up in here.
Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, the IHG Hotel, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
It's a lot of men down. You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I sided with the Lord of Lords. On one accord. We ain't never stopping.
Comes with all your dishes, pots, and sports knives.
I kind of like this. This is like an apartment and a hotel. You know what I mean?
This here right here is about to be holy ground. This will be holy ground. All our beautiful, wonderful brothers and sisters from all over the world. You understand? We can boast that now. Brothers and sisters coming not only from every state, but from all over the world. I heard the numbers this year is ridiculous. We had to buy out the whole hotel.
Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
My camp undefeated. You cannot debate it. You just want the clout. We just want the grades. I'm just trying to get it.
This is going to be glorious.
We don't give a fuck, you can see it in our faces. Got it out the mud, straight up out the base.